could ask you if you have your drawing with you with the 2 dots that we already started with last week, so you could add dot number 3. And I already realized that I'm sort of setting you up because next Sunday I'm not going to be here, so I'm not sure whether Ronnie's going to give you dot number 4. But we'll see whether or not excuse me, we can put together what it is sorry, that we are putting on this piece of paper. So we talked about mustard seeds, we talked about faith. And so here it is again. The question is, why don't you have any faith? And the dot is that you can make the waters calm and you can stop the wind. So I thought to myself, okay, wait a minute. So I know about mustard seeds and the amount of faith that I have to have. I understand that I can move mountains. This is one of those understandings. But how do I stop waves? What do I do to make the waves stop crashing in against the sea? And I don't know. I don't think I have that power. And yet, Jesus keeps saying the same thing. With the faith that you have, you can. Now, I looked back a little bit on this and I thought to myself, here he had in his boat a whole group of fishermen, people who were accustomed to being out on the water, knew what to do when any kind of a squall came up, knew how to get the boat balanced so that there should be no chance for it to be capsized, knew how to handle and go into the wind so that, again, the boat would not be in as much danger, and they all panic. And they run to the front of the boat, and they wake up the most important person on the boat and say, "Save us!" Why? Why didn't they have enough faith in their own abilities to keep the boat stable? Were they afraid that they weren't capable? That because they had this extra special person on the boat, that he was the only one that could lead the way? This goes down to that question of, I'm only one person, what can I do to change things? And my experience has been that you, as only one person, can do so much, but you don't realize it. You're afraid, just as all those disciples sitting there saying, well, we really know how to do this, but we should trust somebody else. We should depend on someone else. I'm not saying that you shouldn't depend and call on God to help you. I'm saying that what God has given you is a powerful enough gift that you can make a difference. The place I saw that most was when I was in Haiti. And you realize that one of the missions that we were supporting had a real problem with having very good, pure water to drink. The whole island suffers from that same problem. Because of their sewerage, because of their care of each other, because of their care of the land, they don't take an effort in making sure that the water is pure. And as a result, many of the diseases are passed on through that water. So how do you make a difference? I could have put a whole bunch of gallons of water in my suitcase and brought them with me, but it would have only fed a few people, and soon it would have all been gone. Knew the problem existed, but I didn't know exactly what the solution was going to be. Now, I'm not the person who did it, but I am a part of what I understood was being done. An investment. An investment by some company in China that figured out a way to purify their water so that they could reuse it. And so they set up a station where you had the water coming in, going through specific filters and tanks, and then being put into saleable items so that the public could come up and they could get water. Now again, this is another question, is if you don't have money, you don't get water. But the church that I was at didn't see it that way. They felt that they were indeed responsible to make the water pure. So in the wall, they cut out an opening and they put up a stand. And the stand was only open for certain hours of the day, and you could bring your own container, and the spigot was there on the outside. It was monitored so people wouldn't damage it, and they could fill their containers and pure water. Now, I don't think that I could give one person credit. I can't name that person. But I will tell you what it spread to. The seminary took on that same responsibility. And they said, we need to figure out how we can make this possible for everyone to enjoy the comfort, the ability to have potable water. And so they sent up a classroom as a plant. They brought in the manufacturer, had them show them how to do it, and then they built their own. And I thought to myself, what a difference they're making in the world, in that world, where it was so important, because they knew that they were missing out on so much not having pure, clean water. And so I realized that one person made a difference. The church obviously came together and said, we're going to do this. They either organized a crowd, a crew, whatever you want to call it, who were there working to make sure that this continued, and the people benefited. It was God's hand at work. Of course, I got there before the earthquake and the hurricane, so I had seen it at work at that point. When I came back afterward, visited again, it was in full use. It needed to be. People were desperate. There was no source of water. You know, having just visited Bermuda, many years ago, they explained as you get on Bermuda that the roofs are specifically designed to capture as much rainwater as possible. They're surrounded by salt water. Their sources of fresh water are quite limited. So there were huge barrels and cisterns put aside to make sure that they always had clear, clean water. And then they started doing tests on the air and discovered that there were chemicals that were settling on the roofs, and as the rain came in, the chemicals infiltrated the pure water, and now it had to be purified again. And so to bring water in by tankers was outrageously expensive. They needed again to develop a way so that the water they were collecting was going to be drinkable. Making a difference does not have to be so complicated. Making a difference means that you have to have the faith that you know how to do it. What's inside each of you is that gift. It may not be that you can create a purificator for water. It may be how to steer the boat. It may be how to cause the waves to be calm. It is that faith that's the next dot